I hate to be the one to tell you this, but if your home still looks like it did a few years ago, it might already feel outdated and be outdated in 2026. And I'm not talking about just big renovations. Just like fashion trends, design trends are shifting fast. And today, I'm breaking down the home design trends that are in and out so your home feels fresh, timeless, and more enjoyable to live in. Or more appealing to buyers if you're wanting to make a move anytime soon. Hi there, I'm Heather, a North Texas real estate broker, and I spend a lot of times walking through homes, from new construction to luxury estates to first-time homebuyer homes. Over the last year or so, I've noticed some clear trends that are taking over the interiors this year in 2026, and some trends that are quietly fading away. So let's get started. Trend number one that's in, warm lived-in neutrals. Let's start with color, right? Gone are the days of the cool, stark gray everywhere. I actually loved all the grays, and I even had my two favorite Sherwin-Williams paint colors that I used for my walls a few years ago and recommended to everybody. But now in 2026, warm neutrals are definitely taking over. Think soft whites, creamy beiges, and subtle grays that make a home feel inviting and cozy, not cold and sterile. These tones work really well with natural wood accents, metals, layered textures. You'll see this in everything from painted walls to kitchen cabinets and even in furniture. It's great for living in, but also for potential home buyers because buying is emotional and they tend to love spaces that they feel like could be their home the moment they walk in. The out trend, number one out trend, is the monochrome grays. All the gray, anything and everything is out. Gray walls, gray floors, gray cabinets. It photographs beautifully, but in person, it can often feel flat and uninviting. And people want warmth in their homes these days, so it's time to swap the gray tones for colors that feel more calming and welcoming. In trend number two, natural materials and texture. That is huge right now. Homes in 26 are using materials that add depth and personality. Think plaster walls, exposed wood beams, natural stones, layered fabrics, hand-troweled walls. Not like the big troweled look of the 1990s, but more like the Italian soft plaster trowel look, right? Rough-hewn wood mantles are great. And layering textures give a home character without relying on like bold patterns or loud colors. And again, if you're looking at selling, buyers notice these subtle touches. It's what makes a home feel intentional and well-designed. And we use these kind of textured elements when we are doing home staging too, by the way, with things like throw pillows and art that we bring in. Out trend number two is overly trendy finishes. On the flip side, ultra trendy finishes that are like fade fast. Anything that was like popular for a minute. Colored concrete floors or countertops, all glass staircases, overly industrial or modern looking kitchens. We all want our homes to feel timeless, right? And it'll look outdated, and we don't want it looking outdated in 2 years. You want to think Audrey Hepburn versus like Lady Gaga, right? You want to be classic. In trend number three are cozy luxury. Luxury in 26 isn't about flashy finishes. It's about comfort and layering. Think layered lighting, warm textures, cozy seating, and spaces that feel like they were designed for living, not just kind of showing off. Oversized fireplaces, warm tone tile and baths and kitchens. They feel inviting rather than stark. The goal is to create spaces where people actually want to spend time, not just be like Instagram worthy. It's also important to note here that luxury can be at any price point. Even adding lighting to a space these days is super easy and affordable. It used to be that you had to have like an electrician wire in sconces or lights above fireplaces, but now you can buy like beautiful sconces that are battery charged from Amazon. They're gorgeous and they really elevate a space for very little money. So you can add luxury to any home really at any price. Out trend number three is the high contrasting colors. Black and white interiors aren't completely gone because they can be softened with texture and greenery for sure. But the extreme contrast and cold, ultra-modern look is really fading. Now the look is to achieve more of a balance with those soft whites and warm metals and wood accents and anything that softens a stark feel or colors. I was once told, however, that every room should have something black in it as kind of a grounding element, which I thought was so interesting. Like a black book for your coffee table, or like, for example, I have an old black phone on the dresser in my bedroom. So black is classic, and a spot of it in every room is still a good thing, I have to think. So in trend number four, functional, thoughtful spaces. Functionality is a major trend. Open concept is still popular, But people want spaces that work for their real life. They want things like built-in storage, functionality in kitchens and home offices and cozy nooks. And every space really needs a purpose. And that's what makes a home feel intentional in 26. The out trend is formal spaces. Nobody wants the traditional formal spaces that our mothers and grandmothers had, right? Builders are still creating the formal dining areas, but I'm actually seeing less and less of that formal living space. People want comfort. They don't want to waste square footage with fancy spaces that they're not going to use. More and more, those sort of previously formal areas are being transformed into home offices or media rooms, spaces that are functional for fun and for today's living. So to recap, in 2026, warm neutrals, natural textures, cozy luxury, and functional spaces are in. Cold grays, overly trendy finishes, and harsh, high contrast interiors are out. If you're going to remodel, focus on timeless design. Try to pick out things that aren't going to just be, popular in today's world, but also in 10, 15 years. And if you found this helpful, hit like, please, and subscribe. I'd love to see you next week in another episode of this YouTube channel. And I talk about home design, and I talk about home selling, home buying, all those things. So I hope you tune in again. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.